So I got an AI to write an essay on 10 Jamaican folktales for me. I heard about Chat GPT this week and decided I had to try it out. So I'm going to read that script for you, and at the end, we are going to have a very interesting discussion about where I think this app can go. Now, the prompt I gave it for the essay that we're going to read now is write an essay on 10 Jamaican folktales, and this is the script. So, Jamaican folktales are an integral part of the island's culture and heritage. These stories, often passed down through generations, are rich in folklore and traditions and offer a glimpse into the country's history and beliefs. One of the most popular folk tales is Anansi and the Pot of Wisdom. In this story, Anansi, a trickster spider, is tasked with collecting all the wisdom in the world and putting it into a pot. However, this journey is not easy, as he must outsmart various animals in order to succeed. In the end, Anansi proves to be cunning and resourceful and successfully gathers all the wisdom in the world. This story teaches the value of intelligence and quick thinking. Another popular folktale is the legend of the Maroons. The Maroons were runaway slaves, not a legend anyway. The Maroons were runaway slaves who formed their own communities and in the mountains of Jamaica. The legend tells a story of how they were able to outsmart and evade their captors using their knowledge of the land and their cunning tactics to survive. The story celebrates the strength and resilience of the Maroons and the importance of community in the face of adversity. You know, now that I think of it, they need to do a movie about the Maroons. The Mermaid of Port Royal is a folktale that tells the story of a beautiful mermaid who falls in love with a sailor. She saves him from drowning and brings him to her underwater kingdom, but he's unable to adapt to life beneath the sea. In the end, the mermaid is forced to let him go, and he returns to his life on land. The story teaches the lesson that sometimes, no matter how much we want something, it is not meant to be. The Night Nurse is a spooky folktale about a woman who is hired to care for a sick child. However, she is not what she seems and is actually a vengeful spirit seeking revenge for her own untimely death. The story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of greed and betrayal. Then we have the story of Coffee. The story of Coffee is a folktale about a brave and cunning slave who led a rebellion against his oppressors despite overwhelming odds. Coffee and his followers were able to overcome their captors and regain their freedom. The story celebrates the spirit of resistance and the power of the human will. The Boogeyman is a folktale that tells the story of a terrifying monster who preys on children who misbehave. Parents often use the story to warn their children to behave, or else the Boogeyman will come and get them. This story serves as a reminder to always follow the rules and be obedient. I like the fact that they give a little moral of the story at the end. That's good. But boy, I don't know none of them here. The Tree of Life is a folktale that tells the story of a tree that is said to grant eternal life to anyone who eats its fruit. However, the tree is guarded by a fierce dragon, and only the bravest and most determined adventurers can overcome it. This story teaches the lesson that sometimes, in order to achieve our goals, we must be willing to face great challenges. The Three Witches is a folktale about a poor man who is granted 3 wishes by a genie. However, he is not careful with his wishes and ends up squandering them all, causing more problems for himself in the process. This story teaches the lesson that we must be careful what we wish for, as our desires can sometimes have unexpected consequences. Then we have the final one, The Three Little Pigs is a Jamaican version of the classic fairy tale. In this version, the 3 pigs must outsmart a cunning fox who wants to eat them. The pigs use their wits and resourcefulness to evade the fox and live happily ever after. The story teaches the value of intelligence. So that's the end. Now, if you can count, you will realize that the AI gave me 9 folktales when I requested 10. In addition, when I said folktales, I was expecting to read about Ye and Nancy, but also Rolling Calf, Old Hag, River Muma, and things like that. So I'm not familiar with none of them here. And I tried to do some research on a few and I didn't get a lot of information about it. But I also ran the script through Grammarly to check for plagiarism and other inconsistencies. So no plagiarism was found. That's excellent. The report also said that grammar, readability, and spelling were fine. However, 23 writing issues were found. They found 5 punctuation issues, 12 conciseness issues, 2 word choice, and 4 additional writing issues. What do you think about ChatGPT? Did it do a good job? Let me know in the comments. Check out my other videos on folklores.